Hello everybody, welcome back. This is my theory series for the Elder Scrolls 6, and in this episode is going to be a feature episode more than it's going to be like a lore and event episode. In this episode I will discuss housing, how housing should be handled, marriage should be handled, and family life should be handled. And so, to begin off, I will start with housing, and like previous Elder Scrolls games, you're allowed to have a player home and store your belongings in a certain house of your very own. So, obviously, in cities, there will probably be some house you could buy within that city for your own little player home, as there has been in previous Elder Scrolls games. But how you require that might be different, such as in Whiterun, but like all the cities in Skyrim, you had to acquire your house by becoming a Thane and becoming very noticeable by the people and becoming a very important part of the area before you could even before you even recommended or required, I guess, you were allowed to buy a house in the city. In Oblivion, you just basically bought the city from whoever wanted some man that wanted to sell it, from what I remember. But in Skyrim, you had to buy it from the government or the Jarl or the steward, I think it was. But the Jarl said, "Oh, you had to do this first before you could buy it from the steward." So anyway. So that's what. So who knows what Bethesda will change up? Maybe next time, maybe you could just buy it from someone who wants to sell it. Maybe you have to do some quest to be able to earn the house instead. But that's for the city houses. Now, like Hearthfire, the DLC that came out for Skyrim, you could build your own house and build it on your own plot of land. I believe that they will also have that in Elder Scrolls 6. And you would be able to purchase a plot of land to build on. I also hope that you could have more of a unique house with a little bit more different design, so it kind of fits your own needs. And maybe you could break down certain parts of the house to be able to build up other features. Maybe you could keep adding it onto your house. Maybe there could be more features that you could add to your house, and you could keep expanding it. But obviously there has to be a limit to how much you could build, or else it'll just collide with the environment and with the other parts of your house.
What can I do for you?
But in that case, I think there should be more plot lands that you could buy and be able to purchase more at that. And so, but we don't want too much, because then you'll have houses all over the place, and you don't really need that. Another idea I thought about is business. Maybe you could buy plots of land for business, and maybe you're able to run your own mill or run your own store at that. And maybe that could be one of the quest lines. Maybe you become the biggest entrepreneur in whatever land is next for Elder Scrolls 6. And I think that would be a pretty good quest line. With all the quests of becoming famous and all that within the Elder Scrolls game, that could be one of them. You're some big business, and you could and there's some quest lines for each one of your businesses. Maybe your business expands and you hire people, and it could go around that. And I think that's a pretty good idea for another quest line for Elder Scrolls 6. Is that you could journey to the business side of things, and earn some money that way, as well as hiring people and making sure everything is good. Alright, the next topic is marriage. And if you realize, in Skyrim, marriage was pretty much a big thing to the fans. It was a pretty nice change to the Elder Scrolls and how they added that feature onto their game to be able to marry someone. And it was a pretty good add-on. Everyone seemed to love it. Then everyone wanted more out of it. They wanted, to have children and all that stuff. And it was a pretty good add-on. They eventually added a DLC, which was Hearthfire, that allowed you to have kids, but they were to adopt kids, of course. Um,
You
one,
got me.
they obviously should bring back the marriage thing. However, I think they did pretty good with it. However, I think there should be more NPCs that you can marry, because there was a lot of single women and men that weren't marriable in Skyrim. I mean, there was a good number of people you could marry, but like it feels like a lot of people wanted to marry certain NPCs that couldn't be married that were single. For example, like Vivian Onus, I actually wanted to marry her in Skyrim. I wanted my character to marry her, but I found out I couldn't, and so I eventually married Lydia instead. So I was kind of upset by that, but you know, it wasn't really a big deal. But I mean, it's something that they could change in their next game, and maybe they could change up some dialogue, add some new dialogue onto the next game about, you know, the lover and all that. So maybe you could have more quests with your lover, so that, you know, so you have more interaction with your family, and I think that would be a nice addition feature to the next game as well. Obviously, you should have the weddings whole thing again. That was pretty neat to have, and they should continue like trying to expand that marriage kind of quest. Maybe they could make it some kind of storyline about it as well in the next game. Maybe it'd be a little harder to get a wife, because in Skyrim it was pretty easy. I mean, you just gotta give them like something that they wanted, and they were like, "Oh, okay, I'll marry you." So it's pretty easy. But anyway, like some more dialogue, I guess, like more interaction between the husband and wife would be nice, I suppose. All right, and so the last thing I'm going to talk about, which probably is more important, is the idea of the children and like having children and building a family. And with Skyrim's DLC, you were able to adopt children and interact with them as, you know, them being your children. You could be their dad, and you could tell them what to do. You could do you could make them do your chores, go to bed. You know, you could give them things. They could give you stuff, and they said hi, bye, whatever, and all that. And you could interact with them as well. And children was a pretty big thing in Skyrim. So I mean, obviously they're gonna bring back children again. You should also be able to have children again in the next game as well. Some people wanted to be able to, you know, have a child, like birth a child. But that would be really, really hard if you really think about it. I mean, for Bethesda to do. I mean, they could do it, but it would be more of a challenge because you know, you have to be pregnant, or your wife has to be pregnant. So, I mean, or your, you know, Skyrim wife has to be pregnant to be able to do that. I mean, it would probably be easier if you weren't the female character and your wife was the female, you know, like your other partner was the female. So so you know, because she doesn't really do anything all day, she just sits at the house. And as time goes by, maybe perhaps if birthing was possible, maybe like in the Elder Scrolls, birthing is faster, maybe goes faster than it does on, you know, on Earth. And maybe it only takes a few weeks or a few months for children to be born in the Elder Scrolls. So I mean, that's just an idea, but maybe they could apply like some bloating thing that happens to your belly or something, or to your wife's belly. But yet again, it'd be weird when you're going to battle, you know, trying to kill everybody and you're pregnant. So it's like, yeah. Or you're trying to, or have your wife with you and she's like slaughtering people while she has like big belly. But anyway, okay, let's branch away from that. So I mean, that would be pretty hard to do. I mean, they could find out how to do that, but it would be just kind of awkward. And how the passing of time, you know, like, and how they will grow up would also pretty much matter too in this game. You know, and maybe there should be baby NPCs, you know, that would make the birthing thing more possible. You know, maybe after a couple weeks in, you know, Elder Scroll time, maybe they could grow up to be a certain age time. Maybe there's some like age limit that they can be. Perhaps when they're teenagers, they could, go on quests with you. Maybe you could take them with you, and they could be like a follower to you. And you could, like teach them how to, swing a sword and all that, and how to go on into dungeons. And maybe you could take them with you, and you could fight together, as father and son, or mother and son, mother and daughter, father and daughter, whatever. But like, I think that'd be pretty cool, and it help, the interactions between you and your family. And I think that'd be a pretty good idea for Elder Scrolls to do in their next game, because I would really like to see that. I hope you guys would too. Thanks for watching my video, and if you have any thoughts or ideas of your own, please post below in the comment section or give me ideas in my discussion. Thank you all, everybody. Please share, comment, like, subscribe, and because I really, really appreciate it. And peace off. Thank you very much.